Hello my lovely readers and queers, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I am Franny and today I have a video that is very short and sweet and to the point. There are so many great books coming out in 2024 and I am so excited about so many of them, and this year I want to be on it. And yes, if you have watched my 24 books to read in 2024 video, you will know that 24 books that I plan on reading this year have already come out probably years ago, and that's already a big chunk, okay? And I do want to get around to those books. But I swear, these books that are coming out this year, they sound so good and so great, and I love where publishing is going. We are seeing more queer stories, we are seeing more diverse stories, BIPOC authors, queer authors, and that is so incredible and nice to see. We are seeing more representation across all these spectrums, and that is something that needs to be celebrated and that I want to shine a huge spotlight on. It's a tough balance, okay? New books coming out, old books that I plan on reading. It's tough, but I will try my best, as always. As I said, since there are so many as of now on my list, and let me tell you, I'm mostly aware of titles that are coming out in the first 6 months, so I don't even know what's coming out in the second half of the year, and my list is already like 40 titles long or something. I have decided that I will go through these titles 2 months at a time. Today's video will be all about January and February, and yes, I am aware that by the time you see this, the books that were supposed to come out in January will have already been released, but I will be better in the future, okay? At the end of February, I will make a video about the books that I'm anticipating that are coming out in March and April, and then at the end of April, another one, and so on and so forth. You get the gist. Another disclaimer, because of course it's not a video of mine if, you know, you don't have like a bunch of disclaimers before the actual video begins. Since these are new releases and I have not read these books yet, I will not be giving you synopses, because sometimes synopses are slightly misleading or actually quite wrong, and personally I do not want to know too much about a book before going into it. I will be giving you the title, the author, the release date, and what interested me about that book. But if you want to know more about any of these books, if you actually want to read the proper synopsis, you will find all the links for all the books in the description box down below, so you can go and check that out. And before we begin, let me know in the comments down below if there are any books coming out in January and February that you are highly anticipating, and since this is coming late, if you have already read them and what you thought of them. Let me know in the comments down below, and now let's actually begin with the actual video. Okay, Cupid by Maison Deaver. This is a YA contemporary novel about Cupids living on Earth amongst us and helping humans fall in love. I have indeed read this one. You will see a book review coming up on my channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. But the main character is an agender Cupid. They use they them pronouns, and I will leave my thoughts for the book review. Most Ardently by Gabe Novoa. This one was published on January 16th, and it is a queer young adult historical fiction novel. It is a part of the Classics Remixed series. I haven't read any of the books in that series yet, but this one caught my eye because it is written by Gabe Novoa, and I have another one of their books on my TBR, I think their debut. Anyways, I'm interested in reading this one because of the author and also because it is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and I have to say, all the Pride and Prejudice retellings that I've read so far have been a hit for me. I really liked them, and this is clear it has trans rap, and so I hope that it'll, you know, keep the track record going. Also on January 16th, Evergreen by Devin Greenlee was released, and the reason why I'm interested in this one is that it is a retelling of The Secret Garden, which is one of my favorite classics from childhood. I loved that book, I loved the movie adaptation, and it features dryads and an urban fairy tale setting, and it is queer, as I've said, and also I had requested an arc of this one on NetGalley and I was approved for it. Did you think I got around to it? Of course not. So I think it is my duty actually to read this one as soon as I can. Not in the Plan by Dana Hawkins. Now, this one, and if I upload this video when I want to, and that is before the end of January, will be coming out on January 31st. It is an adult sapphic romance between a coffee shop owner and a writer who has a writer's block and is going to use the coffee shop owner's stories for their novel. I love the premise of this one. It is giving me castle vibes without the police and murder investigations components. And on Goodreads it says that it is for fans of Alexis Hall and Casey McQuiston, which is high praise if you ask me, and I'm really interested in checking this one out. Moving on to February, we have Who We Are in Real Life by Victoria Koops. This one, first of all, gorgeous cover. I was approved for an arc of this one as well, and I would like to read it, I don't want to say before the book comes out, but around the time it does, so that I can review it here. What captivated me about this one was, well, the cover, as I've said. Then again, it is for fans of Casey McQuiston, which I am, and it is a queer YA novel that focuses about not just bisexuality but also being an ally to queer people, which is something that, you know, more people should be. So I want to check this one out and hopefully it's good. Coming out on February 13th is This Day Changes Everything by Edward Underhill. I have this author's debut on my TBR as well. I haven't read it yet, and I think that this book will have to wait because it is set around Thanksgiving. I don't know why it's coming out in February. Like, what are we doing here? I will be reading this book around Thanksgiving, definitely not now. It is a Dash and Lily's Book of Dares sort of book, and honestly, you got me. You don't have to tell me anything else. Dash and Lily, set in New York, queer book. I'm there. And last book on this list, coming out also on February 13th, is The Imposition of Unnecessary Obstacles by Malka Older. This is the second installment in the Moss and Platey sci-fi novella series. It is a sort of sapphic BBC's Sherlock set in space. I listened to the audiobook of the first book in this series last year. I really enjoyed it, and I want to know how Moss and Platey's story continues. A few other books coming out in January and February that are not as high on my priority list, but I would still like to get around to at some point, and I would still like to mention in this video, are The Misfits, A Royal Conundrum by Lisa Yee, The Principle of Moments by Esme Gikiemi Pearson. This is the first book in the Order of Legends series. Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin, and The School for Invisible Boys by Sean David Hutchinson. And this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books, if you were highly anticipating them or not, and let me know what you were highly anticipating that came out in January and or will come out in February. And I will see you, of course, in another video very soon, but until then, have a good one, take care, and keep reading queer books. Warm hugs. Bye!